Hello, hello. We were great. And then he ghosted. Now what? That's what we are talking about on this video, this live. And I want to give you an overview of what you can do, depending upon your situation, that can help you, first of all, deal with the ghosting, understand it, and make a decision about either doing something and perhaps reaching out once or letting things go, because a man 9 times out of 10 will be back. We are going to talk to Sophie tonight and get her situation whereby she is dealing with this situation. And it has been, of course, difficult. It's emotionally draining. It's very confusing. It's disconcerting. And I think this can help you through her situation, deal with those emotions, how to get through them in a positive way via manifesting your mindset, and then deciding about what you may or may not do vis-a-vis the mechanics of men. So tonight, I am going to cut right to the chase and have Sophie come on. She can tell us a bit about her story. So Sophie, I think you're there. Unmute yourself and we will get started vis-a-vis your situation and helping others, and then we will do some Q&A if anyone has a question. Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
And if anyone is here, if you can say whether or not you can hear Sophie. So Sophie, be sure and speak up. I have you next to the speaker as much as possible. And I want to ask you just a few questions for everyone here listening. You are in your early 40s, is that correct?
Correct.
We have spoken before and worked on this situation with Ralph, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And if I'm correct, because it's been a while, you really got to a great place with him. He's the type of guy that tends to run when anything emotional comes up. Is that true?
That is very true. He doesn't work through his emotions. He just goes into his turtle shell.
Okay. So I want to know too, I want to make sure everyone can hear you. It's as loud as I can make things. So you say he goes into his turtle shell when anything emotional comes up, anything about the relationship, I assume.
Yes, anything in the slightest, he basically just shuts off and doesn't have any contact.
Okay. So you were going strong from what I last knew about your situation. You've been a guest here and we talked a little bit about it, but you, after your last breakup, doing the approaches and strategies that had him come back, he did, and things were going quite well. Am I correct?
Yes, that's correct. He even said he loved me.
Was that the first time?
Yes.
Nice. Excellent. And I don't doubt that at all. Do you believe that he does?
Yeah, I believe that he does. I think it probably is that he makes him vulnerable, that he does, and he doesn't like that.
Exactly. Because he's a real guy's...
He has trust issues.
He has trust issues, yes. He's a real guy's guy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, tell us about what happened this time he last ghosted.
So this last time, this last ghosting came out of nowhere, as they all do. Everything was fine. He came over. We had a visit. Everything was fine. He left, took me goodbye, said, I'll see you, again. And that was that. and it's been a month, and I haven't heard from him at all. So I figured he must need space, give him space. But it's been a month, so now I'm curious as to what are my next steps. Do I reach out to him to see what's wrong? Do I just continue giving him his space, or do I start dating again? I don't know what to do. I was thinking about what happened, what could be that's making him stay away this time. And I was thinking back to our last visit, because everything was fine. Like, I literally had to think for days, like, what could it have been that set him off? And the only thing that it could have been was that we were joking around, and he said that I totally broke. It was like a broke joke to say, use the word broke, but he got really upset and offended and was so upset about that. And I was like, no, I'm not saying that you are. Like, it's a joke, And he was like, well, I'm not just a bank account. And I'm like, of course you're not. Like, why would you even think that? Like, but I know that that's one of his biggest insecurities, is women using him for his money, of course. And I'm very careful about that, to not make him ever feel like that. But the first time we were together, he was not different at all. But the second time around, he's different. He's generous and loving, and he's a whole different person. So for him to say that caught me off guard. And so I didn't know how to respond. So, of course, I shut down. And then he says, oh, so you're going to act like that now? Like, I'm just going to have a temper tantrum or something. And I just said yes. And so then he was like, then I'm leaving, So he goes to leave. And I'm like, no, don't go. And then I hug him, and then he's like, okay, so he stays. And then we finish the day, so everything's fine, everything's normal. And that's it. And so I'm thinking, like, was it one of those things that set him off this time? Which then makes things frustrating, because then it's like, I feel like I'm going to be walking on eggshells in this relationship if I have to sit here and wonder, like, oh my gosh, what went wrong? Why is he mad this time? Like, I shouldn't have to go away.
Okay.
So I'm talking to you, Paula.
Good. So a couple of questions. So tell me, and tell us if you would, what was the joke?
The joke was, it was a sarcastic joke. Him and I are sarcastic, and it's something that we've said to each other before. So it usually gets a laugh out of us, right? So anyway, the joke was, if you can't afford if you can't afford to do that, then you can't afford to have you. That's the saying, right?
Wait a second. If you could slow down for us.
Okay.
If you can't afford what?
The saying is, if you can't afford to pay to do something, then you can't afford to have that as a hobby. That's the thing, right? So the joke that him and I say in regards to that is, I say, if you can't afford to pay for me to do that, then you can't afford that as a hobby. As in me joining him in hobbies or doing whatever. It's a joke. It's completely a joke. So when I said it this time, he took it literally or got upset about it. And that's why I was confused, because we said that so before to each other and laughed like it's funny.
But somehow the word broke came into it. Is that correct?
Yes. So he said, so you're calling me broke? And I was like, no. He's like, yes, you did. You called me broke. And I was more focused on, I know I didn't say that because I don't use that word, but he was like upset and offended as if I had said that. So that's why I'm like, darn, I think maybe he's having a mini issue right now, and me saying that joke hit a nerve or something, because that is not all what I intended. That's not all what I said, but that's how he took it. And that's why that was out of nowhere.
Okay. And so this happened. He got upset. You corrected it. But then he said you had some kind of attitude after you got upset and you pulled back?
Yeah. Because him being really, I could see that he was genuinely, I don't want to get hurt by it, but like, I could have it really got to him. So I was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Why is he so upset like this? Like, I was just kidding. I don't understand. So I was like panicking. So then he tried to feed me a snack. And I was like, no, thank you. And I didn't take it, but he could
give you a what?
Sad and hurt. And,
Can you slow down for us? He gave you a what?
A snack. He tried to feed me a snack.
Snack, SNACK?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you didn't take it?
Correct. I just said I just shook my head and said, no, thank you. But he picked out because my head was down and I was sad. We were laying together watching TV and snacking. And so he seen that I was hurt and upset. So then he got annoyed by it and said, oh, so you're going to act like that now. Like, I'm going to not be receptive to him anymore. So then he said, then he's leaving.
Okay. But you smoothed that over and you said, please don't go. And you ended the date. Did he stay over?
No, so that was the morning afterwards. And we were just in bed, snacking and watching TV until it was time for him to leave. And then that had happened, and then he ended up staying until it was time for him to leave. And then he left. Everything was fine. He left. It like nothing. Like everything was normal. I didn't even think twice about our little steamer.
Right. All right. So tell me, what is typical for your interaction if this had not occurred? Would he be in touch every few days, once a week? What's typical? Every day?
Typical is him texting every day, a few times a day, sporadically throughout the day, or he'll go maybe a day every now and again that I won't hear from him. And then he'll give me a call like at least every other day or every 3 days.
Okay.
So I never reach out to him or contact him first, but he doesn't notice because he's always reaching out to me. And then I'll if he texts me, I'll text him back, and then he eventually texts me back, and so back and forth. But say something like this where we've seen each other and now it's no one's turn to return a text. Usually he'll reach out to me after his work shift is over, just to say how was your day or how was your night, or hope you slept well. He'll say something. He's in touch.
So how long has it been since you've been on a good trajectory and nothing has happened like this? How many months, weeks, how long?
We've been together back again since January, and it was good.
Okay, so that's almost 6 months or 6 months that you've been good and not had any of these issues.
Yeah, well, I counted as 4 or 5 months because I haven't heard from him in a whole month. I feel like I doesn't count.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because to me, it feels like he's good for a few months at a time, and then this happens. I see us getting closer, him falling for me more, and then he completely pulls back. I feel like this has been before with him.
Yes, this is his pattern. And that's what we want to talk about today. The difference between if this is the first time ever or a pattern. When you're saying a pattern, how much time typically goes by when he reaches out again?
A good few months. He's good for a good few months, and then he'll message, hey, how are you? Or he'll call, how have you been? Or, and just, nothing.
Okay. And how long, because this is very important, how long altogether have you been doing this back and forth with him since you met and to where things are now?
I met him 2.5 years ago.
And what do you want, Sophie, being early 40s? What is it that you want in your life?
I want to fall in love and get married and have a family.
Do you have children now?
I do.
Okay, but you want more.
Yes.
Does he want more? Because I think he does too, correct?
He doesn't I want more children, but he's not against children. To him, the way he thinks about children is not you want them or not. It's just oops, I got my girl knocked up and now we'll have more kids. That's how he thinks of it. He's not going to say, oh, we should have another kid. But then if we get pregnant, he'd be like, okay. It's just normal that you just show up pregnant one day.
Okay. But let me ask you something really important, because this is going to play into it. You're 42, 43, somewhere around there?
Yeah.
How important is it on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being absolutely and 1 being pretty much not at all? What number would you say you are on a scale of you must have more children or another child?
I'm at like a 6, Paula, but let me tell you, because I'm at my age where I'm at, like my life dream is to fall in love and get married and have a family, right? But I've learned that I have to be happy with my life and love it in case that never happens. I don't want to wait for that to happen for my life to begin or to get enjoying my life. So if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be too terrified or upset, but like I would just love for it to happen. If it could happen, that would be great. Like I'm going to do everything that I can for it to happen, but I'm not going to get married just for the sake of being married. I'm not going to have a kid just for the sake of having a kid. Like I want it all. I want to be in love. I want to get married and I want to have a kid. And if that doesn't happen, then I am fine being single the rest of my life. It's either right and in that order, or I don't want it. So I understand that. And,
Okay.
I'm kind of in the middle.
Okay. So then if it's him and he decides he doesn't want more children, but he wants to be your life partner, you're okay with that?
Yes, I would be okay with that.
Okay. So when you say I want to fall in love, and do me a favor, are you on speakerphone?
Yes.
Can you take it off of speaker and talk to me just regularly, because I'm getting feedback?
Okay.
So since you would be okay with that and you have children already, this allows you to have at least some time, and you say, I am going to be okay if I can have this man that I love and actually have a full relationship and marriage with him. I would be okay if he decides, or we can't have children or whatever. You're okay with that. Okay. So is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Those are my values in that order: love, marriage, and then children. So if I can get love and marriage, great. But it has to be in that order or not at all.
Got it.
So
Okay. So has he met your children or you his?
he's met my child, but I haven't met his yet.
Okay. And
our children are older than little.
Your children are older. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Does your child live with you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that's an aside. That's another topic. But is he okay with your child? Has there been any interaction?
He's okay with her. It's just light interaction. We don't do family outings or family events. He'll have dinner with us a handful of times, but I don't push for them to have a relationship at all. It's just to connect her because it was the next step in our relationship. And being that he's gonna come here and pick me up and see me or whatever. But it's like they have a light friendship, just cordial.
Excellent. Okay, great. I like that. All right. So you have been together 2.5 years, or off and on in that time? How much off? How much on?
Yeah. So I met him like 2.5 years ago. We were together in the beginning, and then we broke up for a middle there, and then we've just been together just this tail end. So for a year and a half, we were together. We just met together, broke up, and then we broke up together.
Okay.
So this is barely our second time trying to work it out.
Okay. So you're saying he has trust issues. Obviously, there is something, and he's extremely vulnerable, or he gets hurt easily. And when he does this ghosting. Has he in any way ever admitted to that, copped to that? told you about that in any kind of vulnerable way? Have you had any discussions about it?
Well, in getting to know him and him explaining, his views on life and his morals and his values and things like that, I know that he takes things. He's very observant and he's very aware, and so and he's very sensitive too. So he takes things seriously. He's very serious guy. And I know that he's vulnerable and he's shared with me, in his own little ways. He's scared of getting hurt and he's afraid. He says, I'm going to do something to him and I'm the one who's going to shoot him. And he's scared to love. Like he says that I'll know that he loves me based on how he treats me. The last way I'll know is by him telling me. So he's very guarded. And I said I could live with guy treating me really well, but if he can't say it, because then he feels I'm use it against him or something. That's fine by me. But he has expressed that. Okay. What you said, that is him very much. I just didn't realize to what extreme.
This is an extreme, right? It is an extreme. And you're the recipient of it, even though you're not the cause of it. This is a much deeper cause than you. So you are at a crossroads, because if you just accept him back, you're going to find yourself right back here in very short order. Because this isn't about his love for you. He's told you he loves you. He does by virtue of how he's been showing up for you. But you see that the smallest thing that he cannot handle, he can't bring to you, and he can't stay in the relationship to deal with it. He has to run. So this is it's not an insurmountable problem, but it is going to necessitate that you handle it in a way that you show him that it is not acceptable. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, and I agree, because I thought of this, and this is exactly the reason why I've been able to leave him alone for a month, because I've been thinking about the same thing. Like, of course I love him, of course I want to be with him, but boy, it's hard. It's hard if when any little thing sets him off, or not any little thing sets him off, but whenever he feels hurt, he retreats like this, and then I feel like, so then that means I have to go, like, how do I know when I'm giving him time and space to work out himself? And then how do I know when it's time for me to go get him and pull him back in? It's difficult, and I do realize, like, do I want to keep loving someone more and more for them to react this way? Because it does hurt me to know that, like, you just walked out of my house and that was the last time I seen you and heard from you, but you acted like everything was just fine.
Yes.
But, and again, I understand he feels betrayed again, I guess. I don't know.
But I would assume that there's something for you where you have accepted this, that it's more a subconscious thing for you to accept this kind of treatment. And it's why you love him.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's terrible. That makes sense.
Why is it terrible?
Because my self-worth and self-value should be higher than me showing that I accept it from people.
Well,
because I feel like if I didn't, then they wouldn't treat me like that, because they would know. He would know if I go away, I can't come back. But he seems to know he can go away and come back whenever he wants, and I'll still be there.
Yes. So this is your chance to change it.
Right.
This is your chance to change it. And you can, because to the degree that you change that is the degree to which we can see him step up to a level whereby you can get a modicum of what you need from him, and he can be step by step better and able not to run. Okay? This is your shot. Now, this takes a lot. It takes commitment. It takes knowing that you must do this to break the pattern. Because just as you said, you outlined the pattern very well. He knows he can. And when he comes back, because this is history of him and you will answer him. Correct? In some fashion, you will answer him.
At some point I did. One time he did the thinking about you text, and it took 2 months to reply to it, but yes, I still replied to it.
Okay, so when you say it took you 2 months to reply to it, what did he send at that time?
What did I send, or what did he send?
What did he send?
That was the first time we had broken up. It was like 3 or 4 months that we had broken up, and I didn't heard from him. And he just sent me a text like at 11 o'clock at night. Was thinking of you all day. Hope you're okay. Don't mean to.
Mm-hmm. So it's a passive aggressive type of thing. It's like that don't mean to bother you kind of thing. It's a light feeler that he knows he's done wrong and try to get you to respond. So he's quite a tough case in that he at that time, it was once that he texted you and he did not try again.
No, he didn't try again. And then 2 months later, I replied to his text.
Okay. So I'm not here to give you false hope. There is always hope. And you have a choice here. A choice that is very tough because you do have to show him that you're not going to accept this anymore. And this is very difficult because, you see, if he doesn't grow through this relationship and your good guidance, so to speak, which he's shown a modicum of ability to do that, if he doesn't get some maybe professional help, it's not going to be easy to go the distance. Let me, before I give you the choices, ask you, has he mentioned marriage, moving in, moving the relationship forward at all?
No. He has not. One time when we went to dinner with my friends, I had went to the bathroom, and when I came back, I walked in on his answer. So later I said, "What were you guys talking about?" He said, "Oh, I asked him what his plans were with you. What are we doing since it was our second time together?" She's much older than me, so he said, told him that. And then she said that his response was something about we just got back together. He's letting things unfold organically. He's not the type to push or force anything, but that we're working towards love and a serious relationship. And hopefully we won't break up again. Like, this will just be it. Because he had said that he doesn't want to go back and forth. And that's it. This is it. Like, we're together now. And I said, okay. She said, that's what he said. And I said, okay. And I said, she thinks you're BSing you? Was it BS answer? And she said, no, it sounded genuine. Like, he didn't want to say that. He didn't want to, she could tell that he didn't want to be vulnerable, but he let her know that he was serious about it.
Well, I think that's very good. So we can look at this, that he's quite the wounded bird. He's quite the wounded bird. He's extremely sensitive.
I didn't understand what he said. What does that mean?
Well, he's coming from a very wounded stance. The smallest thing wounds him and he can't handle it. It makes him feel either too vulnerable, emasculated, who knows what. But he's just not handling it in any way that can tell us that he can handle a relationship. Because anybody can handle a relationship when it's all fine and good, correct? Are you there?
Yeah, you know what kills me, Paula, is that he says the same exact thing. That's why he doesn't want to rush it. He wants it to be right, you know? He doesn't want to rush it because he says, you know, in the beginning, everything's good. Everyone's on their best behaviors. But when something happens, then that's when people show how they really are, you know? And that's what he's waiting for, to see what I really am like. But I feel like that's what you say, but look at how you're acting. The minute something gets tough, you run off and like, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm giving you the silent treatment. Like that's so childish.
Yes,
So it
it
really
is.
bothers me that that's his standard for me, but that's how he acts.
Good. And what I like, Sophie, is that you haven't run to fix it. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I haven't ran to fix it because you always said that callous to do nothing, you know, and I know that he needs space because something triggered him. Or even maybe if it's not even that and it's something that's really going on in his life and he needs space. Whatever it is, I feel like the right answer is always for me to just give him space and leave it alone.
Okay, and because you can do that and you haven't run to fix it, and it has been a month, while it is an option for you to do a one-time. Are you on speaker again?
No, I have you on my cell phone.
Okay, but please
Did you
just,
speak that?
yes.
Okay.
So please just put it to your ear.
Okay.
So it's very important for you to understand your options. You can do one reach out, but it lessens your stance. It doesn't give you the most power possible. Because if you want to go the distance with this, meaning you know he's the one you would really like to have as marriage, you know, for marriage, your best bet is to wait until he attempts to be in touch with you, but he's got to do more than one attempt. Because if he doesn't do that, he hasn't made any strides. And he's showing that no matter what you have shown him, he's unable to meet you at your level.
Yeah.
You see, any relationship, it's always two people. One is typically at a higher emotional level than the other. And that, in this case, is you. But you can only have a relationship between two people at the lowest of the two in the duo. And that's where you're having the relationship, at his level.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to be brought up, or it's not going to be sustainable. You can't have him doing this every time he gets upset about something.
I agree, and I don't want to put up with this for the rest of my life, or loving him more, or falling deeper in love with him, and then him pulling away like this. It's not acceptable.
Good. I'm really, really sorry that this has happened. As I said, the choice is always to do a reach out but it does lessen your power, so to speak, your stance.
Paula, I was thinking, because he was married before for many years, and other whatever. The point is I was thinking, how was he able to have such a successful marriage for so many years, or successful relationships, if this is how he acts? This is the most emotionally and mentally mature he's ever been in his life at this age. So he must have been way worse when he was younger. And I thought, I don't want that for myself. I don't want to have to be in a relationship where it's he's depending on me to make it right. Like whenever he's upset or whatever, that I have to go and I have to get him. He did say something to me when we had our talk and back together about the last time. So he basically did the same thing when we broke up. Something upset him and he just stopped touching me and I let him go and so we broke up. He said that I didn't, since I wronged him, I should have been calling him, texting him, being like, how can I make it right? What can I do? What do you need from me? All these things. He said, you didn't do any of that stuff. You just sent me one text saying you would like to work through it. And then that was it, and I laughed because that's what you told me to do.
Okay. So here's the thing, that you are surmising because of the years in that marriage that it was successful. It doesn't mean it was emotionally mature at all.
I agree. I think she's used to. I think she's waiting on me to make this right because that's what he's used to. He's been used to having to work it out.
And she may have done that. And quite frankly, when a man has made the commitment and he is married and he needs to go to that home where she is, being together makes the two people somehow work it out. But because he can just ghost, that's what he's been doing with you. And I believe your best stance, now this is a longer game, much longer, is that you must show that it's unacceptable. You have said it before. You have attempted before. So this time you have to do it differently so that he really knows when it happens in the future, should you get back together, that you are not going to accept it. You may have been here on the live we just did recently, that two actually, where we discussed the most powerful word to the man is no.
No.
And your power is really in the fact that the man intrinsically knows that if he doesn't step up and do what is right and behave in a way that is relationship oriented, you will leave. And you are at that place where you must decide, is this the one where I show him that this can never happen again, or he loses me for good? Because you see, if the loss of you is not enough for him to overcome and at least attempt to make it right, then you don't have a lot of leg to stand on. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I totally see what you mean. And also, he knows that he knows Virginia's in love with me. He's there. He's waiting for me. He's not going anywhere. So he feels like he can just leave me there and I'll be there when he gets back. So that's
right.
Bad on me.
Right. And here's the thing that I know about him, whereby he's put you in a catch-22, because he has a big issue with trust that you are just going to go and cheat on him, quote unquote, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge. So he does this thing where he's in a loop of his own making, which, okay, he leaves, he ghosts, then he's going to think, okay, you're out there. If you were to go online and he sees you, or you were to do something whereby he knows you're seeing other men and dating again, he's fulfilled his own idea that this is what
Right.
women do. You cannot trust them.
Right.
This is a really, they're all the same. This is a really hard man to be with. And
yeah.
Your best bet, even though it's very hard because you love him, and I'm not saying he's not good or not worthy of love, he just has quite serious issues. They are serious.
He does. I realize that now that he's you know.
Yeah. So, you see, if you wait and you don't reach out, you are resetting things to a new bar that either he steps over or he doesn't. And if he doesn't, you know something very significant. Because he has to come back hard and win you over again, because you did nothing that warrants this kind of treatment.
I agree.
Yeah. You must know that like you know your name. Everybody in relationships can do something inadvertently that might hurt someone. You apologized. He should know that, given how you've been, that you're not with him for the money, that you don't think he's broke. You've respected him. You've shown him that. You've been there for him, loving him each and every time he's returned, right?
Right. Correct.
So now is a time for you to show and for you to possibly move him through this by moving yourself through it. Very hard, but you do it with keeping the manifestation of what you want in your mind. And that is an imaginal act of you seeing through your own eyes your life with him, where he has made these changes and you have the marriage and family you want. And you aspire to that. You bring it up in your mind. You revel in that to kind of get you through these hard times. Knowing that for a man, and you can find all manner of experts, coaches, psychologists who talk about this, the most powerful thing we can do for a man is walk away. Leave. Because it shows him that he has a ding, 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 worthy opponent. Men do everything in their lives vis-a-vis challenge, competition, conquering. But if he doesn't step up to that, then you didn't have much hope of helping him through it. Because you can look at this as a version of helping him through by being the worthy opponent. Because you see, right now, if you go back in any way and you try to attend to his issue, you're having the relationship as his level. That doesn't move the needle up. And it shows that you're weak for him. That's not really worthy opponent. It doesn't set a new bar.
Right.
He did come back before. He will be back again. But this time, you are going to send something. Once you do, and it may not be the first reach out, because I wouldn't necessarily answer the first reach out, because that's low effort.
Yeah, and I
You see?
imagine that based on how I know him, his first reach out is going to be like, "How you been? Hi, good morning. What's up? I haven't heard from you." Like, is this nothing? Like, it's only been a few days since we've been in contact. That's what his first reach out is going to be. And if I don't respond, he won't follow up again.
What does that show you?
I think that he'll give a phone call and then that's it. Like, he's so used to women doing all the work in the relationship and chasing him that all he has to do is give a little bit of effort and they'll take that and run with it.
Okay, but so you see, it's the one that is different that generally really has their heart. And that is the only one they'll really step up and over the next bar. Because if you don't, you're going to continue to have the relationship at this level. It's going to be very difficult for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is your shot.
The relationship the way it is, like this.
Yeah, I don't blame you. You don't deserve that. Right. No. Good. Because love alone does not conquer a thing. Love alone doesn't. It's what the two people are willing to do. And he has shown you that he balks and runs any little thing. And he's also, it's what I don't like about it, Sophie, is that it's punitive. In other words, you said that morning everything was fine. He was fine. It was great. And then he went away and did this. Yeah. It's emotionally, it's emotionally like abusive, light, but it is. Ghosting is not okay. No, it's not. It's not. And that's why I don't want to be with someone who does this. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because it's damaging to me. Absolutely. Well, of course. And again, I'm going to reiterate, you did nothing that warrants this. Do you really know that? You did nothing. Hurting someone's feelings in this way, apologize. And it was something that you've done in the past, and he was not, you had no way of knowing. No, I didn't. That's why I think it must have been something he was going through and I hit a nerve maybe, but whether it was something big or whether it was something small, it's unacceptable that he's just going to, be hurt and go in his shell and ignore me. So okay, it's not. So with anyone who's going through something like this, and this, because we are the guiders, the purveyors of good relationships, the makers of good relationships, women are. In the future, when you know that something like this comes up, waiting this long will not help you. In other words, let's fast forward it to him coming back. And you're going to do it in a way that is, you show, I'm not accepting anything like that again. Right? Now that's going to take some steps. But when you get there and he steps up to the plate, and this gives you a shot at talking about where he wants things to go. I don't think he's ready, certainly not emotionally, but I don't know that he doesn't have a lot of stuff about getting married again, being in a real relationship that he's okay with. I don't know. But I question. He says that he's ready, and he says he's not going to force it, but that if it comes to him, he's going to accept it with open arms, and he's going to do everything he can to keep it, all that good stuff, right? But I feel like his actions don't show that. Like, his actions aren't showing that he's emotionally maturing it for a real relationship that requires
trust and vulnerability. And,
right.
you know, if you get hurt in a relationship, then you say something to that person, or you express it. You don't just cut them off completely.
Of course.
So that tells me he's not ready to do all that. And the fact that he's scared that somebody's going to use him for his money tells me that he's not ready for marriage either. Like, it's just showing me that he's not ready at all. And like you said, if I want a relationship with him, it has to be at his level. And I would honestly rather be single than and have a single fulfilled life than to be in a relationship like that, where I don't want to be 62 and being left one day because she got mad about something, you know?
Okay. So I like that. So here's what we do. When he first comes back, you let that first outreach go by. Don't answer it. Then we be in touch again. And you're going to craft a one-time message to him that's going to be quite impactful. Kind, but showing that you're not going to accept that kind of treatment. Okay?
Okay.
And you're going to potentially restart things on the right foot, whereby he makes at least some kind of verbal commitment to several things. One of which, nobody just ghosts, walks out. No, not going to have that. Now, that's not what you put in your first, your response to him, right? We craft something that is kind, but that is how hurt you were, how this did not work for you. You had hopes for X, Y, and Z. And if he doesn't step over that bar, once he sees that it's not about anger, it's about moving through things that come up in a relationship, that you're fine with leaving things where they are. And then he's got to step over that bar. If he doesn't, you're not going to have an easy time of this at all. No matter how much you love him or even he loves you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. If I text him this, if it's a text or if it's a phone call and I say it, whatever, does it matter whether it's a text or phone call, or should I?
It does matter. And it should not be to his first reach out. And it should be crafted. It should be really thought through. It should be no more than 3 paragraphs, but it has to be, a bit comprehensive about all of what we just said here. And it has to be filled with caring, but not accepting. And that's something I do in my lure him back approach. Because without this, it has to hit him in a different way. It cannot be casual. See, he's trying to just reach out to you in a casual way. It cannot be casual. Then things will continue to be casual, you see?
Right, yeah.
This is a step-by-step leading the man. That's why I call it lure him back. Because he must go through the feelings. He needs to feel and connect to the changes he needs to make, and that they are going to be, they're going to be positive in his life, and that you are worth doing that for. You see?
Yes.
This will show your worth and value, worthy opponent. Okay? So all you do now is nothing except stay in the very positive mind frame. Work on your own self-concept, the I am affirmations, the sleep meditations. And yes, you take this as he broke up with you. Now, you date, but don't put that on your social media.
Okay.
I would not go online, because one might say, well, if he sees you online, that means he's online. Yes, of course. But we all know with a man with his big, we know, Madonna whore dichotomy, right? He's very much, very big with that, having talked to you before about him, that you cannot show that. Now, if you meet someone that you really fall for, wonderful. And energetically, that's typically when he'll be back. Right? Happens to all of us.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Start falling for someone else.
That's how it
When he
works.
came back last night, I was falling for someone else.
That's right. That's right. So get busy working on you, focusing on you, your daughter, your life, your career. You're out there now because you deserve more than that. You did not deserve this ghosting. It was not okay. And you are going to show him that it's not okay. And when he does come back, that's when we get to work. That's when we craft this message. I even, for those who are interested in luring their man back, I have a template letter in the lure him back approach. That's when we can work together, Sophie, to make an attempt. It's not that he's not deserving of love. He got the programming that it's not safe to love. That's the programming he got. It's not safe to love. And that's a shame. But you didn't create that. You can only help him to change it should he take that leap of faith with you. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it's about. So everything is not lost. You are actually making great strides and great gains. And I trust in the manifestation. If you truly want him, where he steps up to your level, I totally believe you can have it. It's to the degree that you will believe it, you will know you are worthy of it. That helps you manifest it. Okay. And the bridge of incidents underneath in his life will lead him back to you, and he will step up. We have to trust that. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, if he calls to discuss the message, do I keep only give him X amount of time to talk on the phone and then end it?
Oh, no. You're not talking on the phone to him.
No, I'm saying if I send him this text message.
You're not going to send. Oh, just to make sure.
When he does reach out to me and I message
okay,
him,
you're getting ahead. You're getting ahead of yourself, okay? All you must do is stay in the here and now. That you are taking this. He broke up by ghosting. Okay?
Okay.
When he comes back, I'm here, you're in the club, we can talk again, and everybody will be interested to know, right? And someone I put it up there for you to see. We're definitely cheering you on, Sophie, which I love.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because everybody has been there in one way, shape, or form, and you can absolutely manifest this, make it happen, but you're also manifesting the life you want. That you said in the beginning, marriage, family, secure love and attachment, not somebody that you have to worry that with every little misstep you make, he bolts. Not okay.
Yeah.
You did nothing. Yeah. Remember that. You are really working on yourself. He will be back. You will be ready. That's when we work together again. We craft the letter. That'll be really good for everybody to hear how we do that, right? And we see if that makes the change in him, if he begins to feel what he needs to feel and connect to it. Because right now, he's not connected to any of this. And that's why he does what he does.
Right.
But that's not good for you. You don't deserve that. You are lovely, you are deserving, and you are going to have a beautiful life with someone who actually wants to be the best he can be for you. It could be him, but he's got to show you incrementally. Let's let him go through what he needs to go through, right? But he's got to come back first, in my opinion. And you have to move on until that should happen. And because you are where you are, I believe you can. You've already shown it. You've not reached out to him in a month. Great. No. Pat yourself on the back for that. Big time. Pat, pat, pat.
So in the meantime, did you say that I should date, just not online or not make it public? Did you say that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
If you are ready to do that, then yes. If you need,
I'm ready, because I feel like at our age, if this is still how he functions, I can't wait around for him to develop into somebody who can have a real functioning relationship and get married. Like, I can't wait for that. But if he decides that he is ready, then he can come back and try again. But I don't want to wait around alone until this happens.
I love hearing that. I love hearing that. You are making strides, Sophie. I love hearing that. You are working on your self-concept in a big way, because when we first spoke, you weren't saying things like this. This is great. This is really great. I'm really, really happy to hear it. He is going to be back. I would, when I say when he's going to be back, this is what I mean. And I would take everything I own, I would bet it all on this. You will be hearing from him. Now, that doesn't mean, and everybody should know this, that doesn't mean he's back. When he sends that text or he makes that call, that doesn't mean he's back. And you can't accept him back with that, okay? That's when
I'm still waiting there for him.
That's right. And that's when we work again, okay? That's when we really get to work. In the meantime, get out there, show your pretty self, and be your wonderful self, and you will meet men, date, and this will also energetically help things to move along. Okay?
Okay.
Great. Well, I hope this was helpful.
It's been very helpful. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you could come on. You are a Wonder Woman. That's fantastic. So thank you for doing this. And be in touch when it happens. When he does come and make that first reach out, be in touch, and we'll talk again.
Okay.
Bye now.
Bye.
So I trust that was helpful for everyone, because it's a very good example of getting ghosted, having these things happen, and what we do. It's very dependent upon history and where the man is and who that man is. We discussed him quite a bit. And I love that she is doing it this way. So I'm going to do some quick Q&A here. Just curious, do you think he's afraid, not wanting the relationship of responsibility? Well, again, that could happen, and it's all encompassing. So if that's the case, she will know by doing things this way. Opal, hi, Paul. I decided last night to text, well, hello there, to the music he sent that morning. I haven't heard back. What do you think might be happening on his end? Yeah, I don't know. But I'm hoping you feel strong in that you did that. I'm hoping, Opal, that you do feel strong in that. There's something that, again, has nothing to do with you. That's why he sent the picture. But he's taking such a low level of effort because of where he is in his life. So I know who I'm talking to here and know the situation. And it's very unfortunate, but he's just not in a place to give any more. He wants it. He wants to have this in the way that he wants it. It's very low level. And we need to see him the same as what we just talked about with Ralph. We need to see him come to some kind of through what you're doing. He will either feel and know that he has to do something more. And I think there's stuff that of which you're not aware going on with him. And I don't think it's what you're worried about. It's not about another woman or a relationship. It's that he cannot offer you anything. He thinks the world of you. And when a man can't offer you anything, and that doesn't mean, ladies, that it has to be about money. It has to be about, particular things, but it has to be about something, you see? So if he doesn't have a lot of money, is he the kind of guy that can give you time and effort? Many men who have a lot of money don't give time or effort. They want to give their presence or money or whatever to keep you happy. And if that works for some women, it does. But typically, everybody needs a balance. But he doesn't have the situation to give to you in the way he knows you deserve. He's stuck because of his divorce, his situation, his children, and it's going to be a long haul. Again, it's if you are wanting this to go the distance, it can, but you can't make him at your level now. You're having it at his. That's all it is. I'm kind of glad that you haven't heard back, because I know that you will, and it will be something more, hopefully, than you've had in the past. It's I think, a good time for you, Opal, to really take stock of what it is that you are worth. And we'll talk more when we talk. But again, it's heading into a weekend, and he's not going to be able to attend to anything in the weekend because of his children. So I wouldn't expect that you would hear this weekend, but I believe perhaps by the time we talk next week, you will. Let's see. So very nice. Trista said to Sophie, good job for doing that. It's exceedingly hard when we love a man and we know what will help him. That's us. We know what is needed emotionally. And typically the man is not at our emotional level. I use all the time my mechanics of men, that if we're in the middle of the desert and we're in a car and we have broken down, there's no cell service and there's not going to be a car coming for a day, who looks to whom to get us out of there and to fix that car? All things being equal, we as the woman look to the man because of his innate knowing and better understanding of things mechanical and potential to get us out of there, to save us. And typically, we are the savers. We are the mechanics of the relationship. We know how it should go. Like in that desert, and what that man in the desert, he's going to say to you as the woman, you got to help me jack this car up. It's going to be okay. We're going to get out of here, but you got to help me along the way. You've got to get it together, and I'm going to give you this tool, and you're going to hold this piece, and you're going to do this with me. In that metaphor, we are the ones telling the man, this is the way, this is the mechanics of our relationship, and this is what you need to do. He's either going to be able to do that, or he's not. And just like in that scenario, if you lost it and you kept crying and saying, we're going to die, and I don't want to do that, and I can't get greasy, and I'm going to break my nail, or whatever problems you're going to have, if he can't snap you out of it to get you to help him, maybe you're not going to be saved. It's the same here. If he is not in a place, he can't step up, he can't meet you, at least come up a little bit on the level, well, maybe your relationship can't be saved. You see? But when you love him, you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Doesn't make him bad. Everybody comes from programming. Ralph's programming is love cannot be trusted. It's a tough one. Doesn't mean it cannot be worked through, but it's going to take a lot, and he's got to at least step up not to run when he gets triggered. And the only way, like in Sophie's case, she's going to be able to show him how it works is by being a worthy opponent who inspires him to go through the feelings he's going to feel and begin to make some changes. It's a long haul. But if the love is there for her and he shows attempts and getting better, we can work step by step. But the first step for her is that he must be the one to come back so that she resets things. Then we can restart it. This is my lure him back approach. She will be writing that note. It's very specific. It's, again, it's caring, it's kind, it's specific, and it sets the tone so that things can be reset. And then when he comes back, can't be just taken back without things a-changing. But it has worked for so many women I work with. It can happen. And many times you want to take a man's breaking it off as a chance for him to make the changes necessary. You see? We don't know. In this case, all we know is that he will be reaching out again. And remember, ladies, when that man makes that first reach out, that is not him coming back and having made any changes. Time alone changes nothing. It's what is done with the time, what we show when we make that first interaction of him reaching out. Sometimes that's no reaction. I've worked with many, many women who basically I'm able to say, don't answer. And if you can do that, he will be reaching out again. Because most men will not take no for an answer. When they have severe issues like Ralph does, that may be it. But that's showing that he's not making the changes necessary. He's not feeling enough to overcome the hurdles. It's big. Most men, they feel enough for you, they will. And simply out of their own male bravado, like you're not answering, I wonder. Remember, if he's wondering, he's actively loving, he will make that attempt again. And you do yourself a huge favor by waiting until that next time. This is the biggest tool we have in our toolbox. Non-reaction. Men, overt, assertive, aggressive action. Women, non-action, receiving action, responding in a way of sometimes no response is the response that changes things. So thank you for that, Trista. I'm glad you're all here. With that, I'm going to love you and leave you tonight. Glad you're here for this video. Please like this before you head out and subscribe if you haven't. It helps me more than you know. Make a comment on this video and share it out far and wide to help the channel and to help our community grow so I can help more wonderful women like yourself. Have a wonderful weekend and wonderful night.